Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of LL Sports Update with John Walk. Jeff Reinhardt here from LMP and Lancaster Online. Let's talk LL Sports. Football. Last week, week one, we got to see Elizabethtown over at Donegal. Shutout for the Bears. Tell us about that game. What'd you like?
Yeah, it was a 20-0 final in Elizabethtown's favor. However, I was going back looking over my notes last night. We already know, first off, that night, Donegal, they actually did a decent job running their wing T attack. They had double the amount of plays, nearly double the amount of first downs. Went back, was looking over the notes. I had them 3 times, got within the 25-yard line, but couldn't punch it in. They gave away 2 fumbles, had another turnover on downs. I think there was a interception along the way. And, Elizabethtown eventually proved itself palatable. One of those fumbles that they took away was a 75-yard return for defensive lineman Zachary McNitt, his first career score. And then they kind of just put things away later on. The run game kind of, I guess started taking a toll on Donegal. Caden Livingston and Devin Clare, the 1-2 combo there. I had them combining for 221 rush yards and 22 carries and 2 touchdowns. Nice. Elizabethtown's 28 points, most week 1 points for them since 2009. Also, they have now opened back-to-back seasons with wins for the first time since 2008 and 2009. So the Bears got off to a nice start there, but I think Donegal, they have a tough matchup with Manheim Central this week, which will be tough. But after week 2, I think they'll be okay once they find a way to punch the ball into the end zone. The other big game that was of note, Manheim Township was a 17-14 winner over Central Dauphin. What happened there?
Yeah, a big game, big win for Manheim Township. This was basically like a District 3 6A playoff preview, perhaps. Township really needed this. They needed a hot start. We picked them to win Section 1 later on, and oh, by the way, Wilson loses in week 1. Bulldogs lost to Governor Mifflin in a Berks County rivalry game, so Township noticed that as well. Held off the Rams. Ethan Van Buskirk, who's a terrific kicker for CD, had a chance at like a 50-yard field goal attempt at the horn to tie it and force overtime. He missed. I think he hit like a 49-yarder though earlier this season. He's terrific. So Township had to dodge a huge bullet there, but did. Township wins. They get Southwestern here this week, and then they get Governor Mifflin next week. That's a whopper game. So Luke MG, 200 passing yards. Used all of his skill kids. We like Saladay and we like Bender. Those kids are really great. Great start for Township. They absolutely needed that, and they noticed that Wilson lost, no doubt. Okay, switching gears. Game of the week this week. LNP fan poll results are in. Solanco at Conestoga Valley will be our game of the week. Future Section 2 foes, don't forget CV goes back down to Section 2 next year. Mules at CV. Talk about that one. What do you like about that matchup?
First off, watch the return game in this one, both punt return and kick return on both sides. For Conestoga Valley, Jose Barbone, which you've written about several times already so far this season. He's definitely a superstar to watch. He had a punt return for a touchdown. On the other side, Solanco, Alex McDonald was our player of the week from week 1 after he turned 2 kicks. I believe, I don't know how long they were.
85 and 79.
This guy has it right off the top of his head. But anyway, they were both winners last week. They won big, Solanco over CV over Ephra and Solanco over Pottstown. We know that Solanco loves to run the ball. I think they only had 1 pass last week.
Correct.
So what are going to be the keys to victory for both teams there?
CV defensively. Got a chance to talk with Coach Novak this week and Coach Cox at Solanco. CV's got to play defense, read the keys. Solanco's going to stick it in the veer and run a lot, no doubt. So CV's got to play really good defensively. Solanco's got to curtail at least Barbone, who's just an unbelievable weapon. 180 receiving yards, 3 touchdown catches last week. They got to be good in the secondary and limit Barbone as best as possible. And good point about the special teams. McDonald and Barbone were both terrific last week. We really like that matchup. And our Irene Snyder was at practice this week, caught up with Coach Tony Cox at Solanco and caught up with Coach Jared Novak at CV. Irene, take it away.
Tell me, Coach, you won your last game, so now you're 1-0. So tell me, how does that feel?
Well, obviously you like to start off the year 1-0. It gives you a lot of momentum going into week 2. And obviously we need the momentum going into week 2. We're playing a really good team in Solanco. And, that first victory, scoring points and doing some things on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, and special teams comes up huge when you're going against a good opponent like Solanco.
So the other team that you're facing on Friday, Conestoga, they also won their first game. So tell me, how are you going to face them? How are you going to beat them on Friday?
Well, I think it always comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes on Friday night, and we're going to have to make the least amount of mistakes. We got to control the ball. We can't turn the ball over at all. They have very good athletes on their team. We're going to have to make sure that we swarm tackle. So the defense is working extra hard this week about just, game tackling and stuff. We can't just rely on one player to make the play. Everybody's got to try to make the play this Friday night.
Thanks, Irene, for that report. We're going to look ahead to some other games of Week 2 of LL League football teams anyway. One of them, Cocalico, is hosting Governor Mifflin. Governor Mifflin is 2-0, coming off that big win last week. Cocalico is 1-0, having put up 69 points in their Week 1 victory. Jeff, what's to watch there?
A lot of running. Over/under on pass attempts in this game might be like 5. Great game. District 3 5A teams. Wink, wink. This could be a playoff preview, maybe. Mifflin 2-0 here, as mentioned, coming off a win over Wilson, which fires those guys up immensely. So they're coming to Denver feeling really good. Cocalico annihilated Redland. Is that fair to say? 69-7. Cocalico had over 500 yards of total offense.
Yeah. I was going back last night trying to find when's the last time Cocalico scored 69 points in a game. Max Preps goes back through 2004, and I couldn't find another game. So anyway,
Yeah, they went crazy last week. Noah Palm, fantastic debut as a starting quarterback, 3 touchdown runs and a pass. So Cocalico feeling really good. A lot of running in this game. Couple of veer teams. Rush defense will be at a premium. Love this matchup. This is great. It's great for Cocalico moving forward because they get the experience of playing a really chiseled Mifflin team. And Mifflin gets Manheim Township next week, so they can't get caught looking ahead. Love Mifflin at Cocalico this week. Another fun game, Warwick at Garden Spot, kind of a backyard kind of a game. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, 2 teams in need of a win after dropping their Week 1 openers there. Warwick and Garden Spot, matchups of 2 of the best quarterbacks maybe in the LL.
Sure, absolutely.
Warwick with Grayson Klein and Garden Spot with Cam Roth. Both of them put up huge passing numbers last week. Garden Spot's Cam Roth, 24 of 34 for 354 yards, 2 touchdowns to go along with 76 rushing yards there. Grayson Klein, I think it was kind of more in, I don't want to say junk time, but they had to go through the air. They fell behind early.
35-0.
Yeah, 35-0 to Manheim Central. And Grayson Klein ends up tallying 273 passing yards, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. You got to think he'll clean that up there. He also had 88 rushing yards. So Grayson Klein, Cam Roth, it's going to be an awesome matchup going back and forth between 2 good quarterbacks and 2 teams in desperate need of a win, especially Warwick if they hope to contend. In Section 1, we know this is a non-league game and all that, but we liked Warwick coming into the season. We thought they were going to be one of the Section 1 contenders, so it was a little surprising. Maybe they got off to a slow start, so once they scored, they were down 35-0. It was a final 35-27, so maybe they got their offense rolling. Hope to carry that.
Glad to see they went down swinging.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So maybe they keep that rolling into Week 2. Now, that'll do it for Week 2 of high school football. However, it's going to be Week 2 for Penn State football as well. 52-0 winner over Akron last week. And they have Pitt coming to town next week. To talk about that, we throw to LNP's own Mike Gross.
Penn State and Pitt, 3:30 Saturday at Beaver Stadium, the rivalry game that some people aren't sure even is a rivalry game. Penn State now ranked 4th in the country after a big win last week over Akron. Pitt, meanwhile, struggled with Youngstown State, and therefore, on merit, Penn State is a 3-touchdown favorite, and it's a game that they should win. We'll see if they can go ahead and take care of business. Saturday at Beaver Stadium, it's Pitt and Penn State.
And thank you for that, Mike. Pitt, Penn State. Wow, that's always interesting. Okay. Moving forward. We're well into the fall season now, not just football. Don't forget soccer, cross country, field hockey, everything's underway. So make sure you keep it on Lancaster Online. For daily reports on all of those sports, make sure you check out the site for sure for full season previews on everything going on fall sports. Check it out. Tim, Diane, and Dave will be along with some reports for us here moving forward. A lot going on with fall sports in the LL League, no doubt about it. Okay, lastly this week, we have a Glory Days. John, tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks to Father Mike Galdino for sending this in, a picture of his son, Chad Gaudino from Lampeter Strasburg. This is from 2016, so just a year ago. It's
glory days.
Yeah, it's glory
It's
days.
glory.
So a year to whatever, however long you guys want to send this in. Anyway, left to right, Grant Stoltzfus from Conestoga Valley, Chad Gaudino from LS, Connor Britton from CV, and Nick Ator. My apologies to
Ator.
Nick. Ator. All right, you got it. Yeah, and that's from 2016. A great pick of 4 friends after a hard-fought game just a year ago. If you guys, again, have any submissions that you would like to send us as far as glory days go, again, it could be a year ago, it could be 50 years ago, send it to sports@lnpnews.com with your name, team, what year it's from, or any other details that you want to share with us there, and we'll put it right here on the show for our Glory Days segment. That'll do it for us in week 2. For Jeff Reinhardt, I'm John Walk. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.